Call it a case of mistaken identity. A newspaper reporter in London confused former Mayor Bill Deblasio with the Bill Deblasio of Huntington, Long Island, because there is one, and the ensuing interview prompted a not-so-serious international political incident.
It's been brutal having the same name as the ex-mayor, especially an unpopular one. It's been entertaining. I think I've handled it, with humor and had some fun with it over the years.
Bill Deblasio of Huntington, Long Island, has had the name longer than the former mayor, but it was his email address bearing that name that got his opinion of Zoran Mamdani onto the pages of the Times of London. A reporter reached out via email, and the wine importer decided to have fun, lightheartedly obliging the reporter and sharing some criticisms of Mamdani.
I never said I was the mayor. He sent it to Mr. Blasio, and I replied as Bill Deblasio. I spelled my name properly, no small d, the big D, the way my grandparents told us that we were supposed to spell our name.
The paper said they retracted the story after discovering that our reporter had been misled by an individual falsely claiming to be the former New York mayor.
I just can't believe that, I hate to call them lazy, but like they didn't check. And he didn't address me as mayor. It was a little bit of sloppy reporting. Obviously they didn't vet me out. I never thought it would make it that far.
The man truly surprised former Mayor Bill Deblasio, a major Mamdani supporter.
This is what's so weird. I have people still reaching out to me saying, oh, I see you're changing your mind. I'm like, no, I never did. It literally was a surreal feeling. I'm looking at a headline. I'm looking at a quote. A newspaper I never spoke to, a journalist I never contacted.
Huntington's Deblasio said this is nothing new. The Long Island resident says he's learned to play along.
I've been to like charity golf outings, and it was a bunch of firemen and cops, and they were like, oh, longest drive, Bill Deblasio, and I've been booed. They'd start booing, boo.
The two actually met at a Mets game.
He says to me, he goes, so how bad is it having the same name as me? And I said, dude, you're killing me. And he paused for like a second, like he was taken aback. He didn't know what to say. And then he just looked at me and he put his hand on my shoulder. He goes, I'm so sorry.
But confusion has its perks.
You could call any restaurant in Manhattan and say, I'm making a reservation for, Bill Deblasio. And sometimes they'd say to my wife, are you calling from the mayor's office? And my wife would just say, I'd rather not say. A couple of times I had to show my driver's license to show that I was Bill Deblasio.
So sometimes it works. Deblasio of Huntington points out he had the name first. The former mayor was born Warren Wilhelm Jr. and changed it later on. First tips.